A common thing I see today in our society is young boys are getting very interested in looksmaxxing. Now, understandably, that makes sense why it would happen, but awkwardness, the hormones, you're starting to get to puberty, and you're just getting to that point of awkwardness. You want to fit in, you want to be better. We have to look at a couple things first, and I think it is one of the main driving points of degeneracy in society today. Now, first, we have to talk about what looksmaxxing is. Most people do now, but there are some who probably are not brain rotted. Looksmaxxing is basically just the attempt to look your best. At its core, looksmaxxing is basically just looking your best. Originally, that's what it's meant to be, getting the better jawline, eating healthier, getting better sleep so you can grow taller. Those sorts of things. However, modern times, in the last year and a half or so, we've kind of gotten to the point where it's gone beyond just trying to look your best. It's turned into something else entirely. We have to kind of discuss this. And I think it is, at first, I want to make this distinction. There is nothing wrong with trying to look your best. I think it's actually virtuous to try and be in your best form. Be in good shape, to be, dressed well, to not have a morning breath, to be as tall as you physically can be, to not have bags under your eyes. So, what am I getting at here? There's a more demonic and more sinister way of going about this. Way, way worse kind of looksmaxxing. This is the bashing your face in with a hammer, getting surgery, doing coke and meth and heroin to try and looksmax so you can mog. And this becomes an obsession. This becomes degenerate. I mean, you're taking drugs and getting all these surgeries and all these surgeries. I mean, there's no difference between this and being transgender. What's the moral difference between bashing your face in, your head in with a hammer and taking drugs, spending thousands of dollars on surgery so you can look your best? Is the same way. How is that any different than, because of this? And it's the same thing. It is a mental illness propagated that you're in the wrong body. You need to look better. You need to be a certain way. You need to be in a certain form, or else you won't be able to fit in, or whatever. The same thing. If you're beating yourself in the face with a hammer, or any of this other crazy stuff, no better than somebody who got us. I'm going to talk about clavicular, for example. I think he's the worst case of this. He traveled to Turkey and spent thousands of dollars getting a surgery, and he's not happy with it now. What's the difference between that and being transgender? Because it's the same thing. You would go to let's say you live in a red state, I guess, I don't know, or just anywhere in general. You go and you get a surgery to get a instead of having a Now, you think you're a woman, but at the end of the day, you're not. And you're unhappy and you're unsatisfied about it. You think it's worse than it was before. You can take as many drugs as you want. You can cut as much as you want. You can do as much of whatever. But it doesn't change the underlying fact that you're not going to be happy with this no matter what you do. It is deceivingly disgusting, not only, but also useless and an idol to try and do this. To try and change how you look, how your chemistry and physical traits are in this radical way. This is completely opposed to, if you're a little overweight, you change your diet, you start working out, that kind of thing. There's nothing wrong with that. But we're talking about taking hard drugs, surgery, and all this just to try and look a little bit better. Because that's all this is. It's all it will ever be. Because you're never going to be happy when you do this. Because you always think you could be better, you could be better, you could be better. But at the end of the day, it doesn't change anything. I mean, here's the deal. If you are healthy, you look decent, you dress the best you can. I mean, nobody's really causing that much of a ruckus over that. That's the issue we're running into, is people are freaking out about the fact that they're not able to mog hard enough. That's not the point. That's not the point of this. And it shouldn't be the point. And that's why the whole looksmaxxing thing is becoming an idol. It is an idol of yourself. The self becoming idol. This is the greatest manifestation of it. I'm gonna say this. I've seen kids who are obsessed with this, who think this is like their way to getting their crush or whatever, which not only is stupid and sinful and all sorts of other worse ways, but that in and of itself is also wrong. It's in all aspects, it is something that is unacceptable. But anyways, thank you all for watching. Anyways, this is a bit of a shorter video. I'm exhausted, tired. Not really much of substance. I just, I think this is the plan. We're gonna go forward. Shorter videos. So we can get out more in the week. Less time editing. Because this is getting ridiculous. In conclusion, I just want to say, there's nothing wrong with looking your best, like I've said 100 times. I'm gonna tell you, for myself, in 6th grade, I was overweight. I was chopped. I didn't really have any acne or anything. I just had a lot of baby fat and all that. But I started eating healthier. I started hitting the gym. I started all sorts of things. I grew out my hair, actually, and I like it like that. I like it longer. I like it in that way. So I think that's the moral of the story. It doesn't really matter how you look when you're younger, because at the end of the day, it will get better. And you can work on being healthier, but that doesn't involve you having to bash your face in with a hammer. Moral of the story, eat healthy. And don't be a chud. All this other horrible stuff. Anyways, again, I want to thank you all for watching. Please subscribe, like the video, and comment. Please, and thank you. And I will see you in the next one. Peace.